do these things. Here's 10 things that will fix your IBS. It doesn't work like that. I guess this is on the internet now and there's no going back. Welcome back, my internet family. It's been a hot minute since I made one of these videos. As I shared in a recent video and on my monthly vlogs, I found out after a several month-long struggle with chronic irregular bathroom habits, constipation and bloating and gas and anal fissures and piles. I found out that I have developed IBS, Irritable Bowel Syndrome, which is disgustingly common. It is a head melting issue that can be mild to moderate to severe. It's triggered by different things in different people as well, and that's been difficult for me to accept, that there's no like one thing fixes all. I've learned that there's like no singular cause of IBS, but that through lifestyle changes, dietary habit changes, supplements and medications if and when needed, I learned that I can control the symptoms, so it's like doesn't have to ruin my life, which is quite a lot of you have been asking me on my social media and in comments under videos to do a food diary video of my journey so far with the low Fodmap diet, which I've mentioned. But I will say that through tracking, so where is it? I've discovered that my absolute biggest trigger is stress. So I started keeping this a food and poo diary, and I kept it for, I'm still keeping it, but this is like literally a couple of months worth here of looking at this proves it. Like if I'm having a travel day where I'm on airplanes, can't poo. If I'm having an anxiety attack or a bad anxiety day, can't poo. When I was moving house, couldn't poo. Stress coincides with more symptoms for me. If you are having digestive issues like I was, you are going to need to learn how to manage your stress. I was usually pretty good at it, but I just kind of got so wrapped up in being busy and in life, and I wasn't walking so much and doing my deep breathing exercises and just taking time to like watch shit and laugh and all the things that manages stress. Nerve and muscle function related to anxiety is a huge problem for so many people nowadays. Just had to say straight off the bat, this isn't all this tummy stuff is not all diet related. What I eat plays a big role in whether or not I experience IBS symptoms. I'm going to share with you a full day of eating in this video, as I always do in this series. Give the video a big thumbs up down below if you want these more regularly on my channel. And just to explain, so currently I'm in Spain, not Dublin in Ireland, because I'm staying with my boyfriend while he finishes his pilot training, and I have taken a week away from his campus to lock myself in this little hotel room to work on my book, because I just needed no distractions for some really important scenes. Not completely no distractions, he's still visiting me, but it has been great, and I'm close to the town now, so I can go and write in cafes and stuff, which I can't do when I'm on campus. Yeah, I've been eating out here. It's pretty affordable in the cafes around Spain, enjoying their cuisine. So yeah, this isn't actually my like routine that I would have at home, which I will share that in a future video, but this is how I'm getting by. When I started talking about these tummy issues on social media, I was recommended the low Fodmap eating plan by a ton of you guys, and my doctor was pretty useless. I'm going to admit that. He was just like, oh, eat more fruit and vegetables. And I was like, great. And because my flight was booked to Spain, I had no time to go and see a dietitian, but I did reach out to a friend of mine who's a health coach, and a lot of her advice was very in line with this eating plan, and a lot of her advice was around supplements and all that. I'll get to that later in the video too, but food wise, I was so desperate that I decided, sure, come here, might as well try it, and I looked up and read loads about it. Low Fodmap is not a lifelong way of eating. It's not a weight loss diet or anything like that. It begins with an elimination phase that can be from 2 to 6 weeks, depending on the severity of your symptoms. I went with 4 weeks, and I will link down below if you're curious as to the high Fodmap and low Fodmap foods. You, in this elimination phase, stick to low Fodmap foods, which I did 4 weeks, and I kept note of it all in here, and I had like 1 or 2 minor slip-ups, which weren't my fault, like it was when I'd be eating out or whatever, but that literally got me so regular. I was going twice a day and doing very normal poops. So there is a poo chart. Here we go. I know this is very sexy, but you should be doing those middle type poos there, and if you're doing little Maltesers as I was doing, it's bad news. It means that everything's not working right inside you. And it really isn't that restrictive when you embrace the foods that you can have on it, because there's so much that you can do with what is allowed on it. Well, pending that you're not vegan, because I would have struggled immensely if I was vegetarian or vegan on this plan. And it's not low carb. I was having a lot of rice, a lot of potatoes, all that stuff. This plan is all about monitoring your reaction to high FODMAP foods during the reintroduction phase, which is where I'm at right now. So I have been, for the past few weeks, just slowly like trying out different things, like one by one, like food groups or specific things that I really like from the high FODMAP list, and noting down whether or not that has a gastrointestinal effect within the next 2 days. And I'm learning quite a lot. There are a lot of the high FODMAP foods that I am eating now, but every other day I try something new off the list, and it's kind of scary because sometimes I do get like a sudden bad flare. But this phase is necessary in order to know what does and doesn't work with your own body, because different things set it off for everyone who has IBS. I just need to say all this stuff because I just know so many of you are struggling with this as well, and if this can help fucking one person, I'll be so happy. Anyway, wheat/gluten, especially when combined with a lot of cheese, kills me. I've tried it twice, and both times I had an anal fissure return. Anal fissures are not nice. I am actually using these coconut oil soft gels into my butthole when the fissure kind of like re-tears or whatever. That was recommended to me by a friend. I don't want to mention in case she won't like me talking about that. Lifesaver though, girl, thank you very much. Also, if I have soy sauce, which has wheat in it, I get like, because if I have sushi, I have like no symptoms. Sushi works so well with me, especially like the really plain rolls that just have salmon and avocado in them. But then if I dip that in soy sauce, I'm like a death explosion. So that's no. And like really random things from the high FODMAP list set my tummy off, like apples and onions, especially when they're raw. One night I went out to eat with Thomas and I ordered a risotto, and I didn't really know what was in it. Like, I knew it had gorgonzola cheese in it and stuff, but whatever was in that risotto, maybe the stock had wheat in or something. I was just in bits for 48 hours. Funnily enough though, sourdough bread doesn't give me any problems, and I think that has a lot to do with the fermentation process. Finding all this fascinating. Food is mental. My best advice with IBS is that it all comes down to tracking and not tracking calories. As you know, I'm recovered from eating disorders and I stay a million miles away from that, but tracking foods and food combinations and the reactions that you have on those foods. It's so difficult. Like, I wish I could just give you guys like, oh, do these things. Here's 10 things that will fix your IBS. It doesn't work like that. Like, it's gotten easier with time and patience. Like, I've just had to accept this. And I keep telling myself over and over, I'm not losing gluten, I am gaining health. Say it with me. Not losing gluten, I'm just gaining health. I'm going to indulge in it on the very, very rare occasion though. And also in certain other high FODMAP foods that give me issues. Like, this has to be sustainable. Let us move on to what I've been eating today. So in the past like hour or so, I've been snacking on these, some almonds in there, and then there's some like dried fruit like cranberries and raisins and stuff. I tend to have more of the nuts than the fruits. Like, I run out of nuts more often, but there I'm having those just to get my fibre up. A huge thing with IBS for me is keeping the fibre intake up around 25 grams a day. I don't always calculate what the fibre is in everything, but I kind of have a general idea, and you'd be surprised how difficult it is to get 25 grams of fibre in a day. A lot of people don't, and especially if you're not eating enough. And I think that's why it's such a massive problem nowadays, because so many people purposefully undereat. I think trying to like maintain a certain size or whatever, I don't know. But yeah, if you're only eating like 1,200 calories a day, it's very difficult to get enough fibre, like what your body needs. So yeah, and I've noticed, like, say for my breakfast today, I had a French omelette, and this was just an omelette with just eggs and salt, and it was cooked in olive oil, I think. I had a little cortado with it with lactose-free milk. I always have lactose-free milk now, which is recommended on the low Fodmap. And I tend to eat eggs on their own. I think they just go down better when I have them without, like, say, gluten-free bread or whatever. I'm trying to not have too many things that are like a gluten-free version of a gluten food. Like, I don't mind having some of them. I said this in my monthly vlog, but I just don't want to rely on them and live off them, if that makes sense. I didn't put the sugar in the coffee that came with it. I had lots of water. I'm drinking so much water, especially here in Spain. It is currently like 42 degrees where I am. Yeah, I went to pick up some fresh fruits from a local fruit market. I got 3 big juicy ripe nectarines, and I had all of those for a snack a couple of hours after my egg omelette thing. And those, now I don't think nectarines are a low FODMAP food, I don't think they are, but they don't give me any trouble, so I'm just eating them. For lunch I had some locally caught whitefish, and that's just what he called it, was whitefish. I've no idea what kind of fish it was. It was topped with some chopped up veggies, it was on top of some potatoes that were like nicely seasoned, and I've no idea what was in the sauce, but so far so good. We're doing this whole testing reintroduction thing, woo! That was yum. And then for my dinner I had a glass of red wine. Small glass of wine is fine for me, but if I go and get pissed, my stomach's in bits. I had some lovely olives. Thankfully everywhere gives free olives here in Spain. And I picked a big salad for dinner. It had a big huge tomato, it had mozzarella, it had lettuce, it had pesto. I didn't eat all of the mozzarella because I do notice with myself that too much cheese just gives me issues, even if it's a very low lactose cheese. But yeah, that was delicious. And I also got some gluten-free bread. Here it's sin gluten. I just asked for pan sin gluten, and most places are like looking at me and laughing, and they're like, no bitch. But this place happened to have it, so I was absolutely delighted. And then tonight I'm going to snuggle in. I'm going to watch the last episode of Shane Dawson's new 3-part series. I'm loving him right now, and I'm going to tuck into some snacks. The snacks that I have here are some nachos, which are made out of corn, so they're fine. I have rice cakes with dark chocolate on them. Again, 1 or 2 of those is absolutely fine for me. A little bit of dark chocolate. I have some raw food energy bars, and like obviously I'm not going to eat all of these snacks today. I haven't gotten to that part of the day yet, so I'm just letting you know I will be having some of that, like probably some nachos and a couple of rice cakes, and maybe a little bit of dark chocolate. I don't know, it depends on how hungry I am, and just lots and lots and lots more water. And then finally, before I go on supplements, in my opinion the most important things and the best things that have helped me are probiotics. These are high in fiber. I love 1 or 2 a day. These are just like sachets that you mix in with like water or juice or something, and they help so much. Also omega-3 digestive enzymes, these also have probiotics in them, so I usually don't mix those two, but yeah, these high potency digestive aid and magnesium, incredible for anxiety. I talked about this in a favorites video recently. I hope this helped. I hope it cleared some things up, and thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and if you want more like this. I love interacting with you guys in the comments, so make sure you comment down below, and I'll see you again real soon in another video.